Hello and welcome to Face to Face on City TV. My name is Umaru Sandamado. My guest tonight is a person who has been doing the communication on behalf of the opposition party in terms of education from the parliament side, holding the government accountable, oversight responsibility on education. And of course, there are a lot of things happening in the education sector. Free SHS is a big one, has its own challenges. But in the past few days, a conversation has come up about scholarships to Ghanaians. Who merits a scholarship, and are these persons getting scholarships? That's what my guest, Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe, will be discussing with me. My name is Umaru Sandamado, and you're welcome to Face on City TV. This is Face to Face on City TV. It's a weekly show on City TV where we do one-on-one interviews with you and do the analysis of the big stories and ask the questions of the persons who make the headlines. My name is Umaru Sandamado, and my guest today is, I want to call him a former teacher. He would say he's not retired, so I'll call him a former teacher, member of Parliament for Akachi North, ranking member on the Education Committee or Subcommittee of the House of Parliament. Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe, you're welcome to Face to Face.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How are you doing, sir?
Oh, very well. What about you?
I'm doing, life is good from my end here. Just that the weather is too hot.
Yeah, I think last night was manageable.
I know.
Yeah,
it was I slept in Dumso, so.
Okay.
But you there because you're a big man. You have a plant and things. So
No. I live like any ordinary Ghanaian.
You get light off?
Yes, we do.
You sleep in Dumso?
Yes.
Hey.
Oh.
Baba now.
Yo.
Do you miss the classroom as a teacher?
Oh, yeah, I should say yes. Because for almost 20 years now, I've been out of the classroom. I left the classroom in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, when President Mills appointed me as the district chief executive for Akachi. So I've missed, in fact, once in a while when I go to the constituency, I visit the schools and then take the chalk and then teach.
What level were you teaching at?
Oh, secondary school. My last school was Accra Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, where I was the head of department.
Oh, you're teaching in Blewo?
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
But I didn't teach in the constituency?
In fact, at the basic level,
okay,
before I left for further studies.
I see.
Yeah.
What is the problem with teachers and teaching? I mean, when I finished secondary school, the advice that I was given by my headmaster at the time, Paul Kojo Jinuku, is I go to teacher training college, because when you go to teacher training college, he said you're a poor man, you can't pay for university, you go to teacher training college, they'll give you government subsidies, as in the allowance that they give them, and then it will help you. Your party, which was in government, scrapped that thing and said that you don't give allowance to teacher training people again. Has education, and for that matter, teaching, been better off since you brought that policy of scrapping and making the teacher training colleges universities?
You see, if you look at the history of teacher education in the country, as you said, some, because they came from very poor background, they could not continue to secondary schools in those days. So they wanted a longer way. So you had to finish the middle school in those days. Then you go to the teacher training college for 4 years. And those years, the allowances were there. Then when Dr. Buzia became the prime minister in 1969, in 1970, he scrapped the allowances.
Okay.
Then, there was this exodus of teachers in the late 70s.
To Nigeria?
Yes, to Nigeria. So many thousands of teachers left. And that was the days of the PNDC. So I think government saw the need to reintroduce the allowances to entice people to enter the colleges of education, or training colleges, now colleges of education. So that was introduced, and many people came on board to train as teachers. Then, at our time, as you said, we needed to expand the opportunity, access. And to expand access, you have to take some measures. And colleges of education or training colleges in those days were not paying fees. You will go, they will feed you, you sign a bond, that you teach for 5 years before leaving the service. That was what we did. But we realized that no, we can expand it, allow more people to enter. Then what will happen is that you have to remove the allowances and put other measures in place. Now, if you needed money, the Student Loan Trust Fund was there. You could access it for money. So you go free, you'll be fed free, you don't pay for hostel facilities, you don't pay for anything. Do you see? That was what we introduced. But the students rather felt that they needed the allowances and then pay the fees. But now, as it is now, they are paying fees in the colleges of education.
So that proposal that you brought, with hindsight, you think it was good for the sector?
It was good because it increased the number of students who wanted to go to college of education. It doubled the number from 8,000 to 16,000.
Because you're going to give them,
year.
so you're going to give them students loan
if you wanted it.
So like ordinary university students.
Yes.
But no free pocket money called allowance.
No.
Okay,
because
so that was
we're
your
going
idea.
to feed you free. We'll feed you free. Provide any teaching learning material that you need.
So 100% enrollment
Increase.
just in the first
year. Yes.
And what other successes did you notice?
Well, it was only going to solve the problem of a teacher deficiency in our schools.
Okay.
In the following years. Yeah. So, but when we canceled the allowance and then the MPP government came and promised them, they had to introduce what we call the quota system. So, like a college cannot admit even 300 students this year, or could not admit 300 students because of the quota system.
But are they receiving the allowances?
They are receiving it, but it comes when God knows. Yes, because they are asking for, and it is nothing so much that even if it had not been mentioned or if it had not been introduced at all, I think they would have still been better. Yeah.
But the quality of teachers over the decades. So you taught for how many years? I don't know. When did you start teaching?
I started teaching in 1978.
Hey, Afo.
Yes. Yesterday I was at a program with our national chairman, and I asked him, what is your teacher registration number? He mentioned it. Then I also mentioned mine. So we completed college in the same year.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so
just by way of information, it was Atraco, Akachi Training College, that I came to write my entrance exam to be a teacher.
Oh.
But I didn't get the admission because I failed the maths paper.
Oh,
and I'm happy I didn't. I'm happy I didn't become. Just because you are from Akachi, I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah.
Now, over the decades, how has teaching or the quality of teachers improved? Because if we should go by the licensure exams, it means that the quality of teachers is dropping because so many teachers are failing the exams to prove that they are worthy of being in the classroom.
Yes.
What's wrong?
Quality, as we all say, has not been as it was. In those days, I was not taught, at least for the first, from P1 to about middle school form 2, I was not taught by a trained teacher.
Who taught you?
People teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, either they had middle schooling certificate or they had a school certificate.
Which is equivalent to SSCE?
Yes. Yeah, that was what they used. And you realize that they had control of the subjects that they were teaching. Yeah, they would teach every subject. Not these days when you go to the junior high school, somebody is teaching mathematics, another person is teaching English. No, those days you would teach all the 4 or 5 subjects in the middle school.
And you think that was better? One teacher for every subject? Concentration will be poor.
No. They were able to do it. Yeah, they were able to do it. And we enjoyed it.
But now that you are sharing, it should be easier. So if someone does pre-technical skills and agriculture, someone does RME and English, I think it's better. Someone does social studies and science.
But we're not going to teach the same class or one class only.
Yeah.
Maybe or 3 classes.
That's true.
Yeah, 2 subjects.
That's true.
Yeah, so they had more opportunity than teachers in those days.
So apart from the teaching of the teachers in the training schools or in the basic school, what other things are not working well for the teachers generally?
I think the welfare...
Is it motivation?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The welfare of the teachers is very, very important. If we don't provide them with, one, the materials with which they should teach, If you go to some schools or some communities, even the classroom alone will deter you from putting out your best. In our days, I remember in my village, touch school classroom block. But the teachers those days were ready to live in those houses and then teach us. But now times have changed. So you can't ask a young man who has completed his degree to go and stay in a village where there's no electricity, there's no water. You have to travel single track about 4 or 5 kilometers. In fact, so the welfare of the teacher is very, very important. Now, then again, the environment in which you make the teachers work, if they don't have the tools to work with.
Teaching aids.
Yeah. Teachers are now providing their own aids because government is not giving funds for those things. And if you want to be effective as a teacher, you have to do that yourself.
I know that the Constitution demands we should have free, compulsory, universal basic education, FQ. But the way we are, or people are advocating for those who can to pay at the SHS level, should we consider that at the basic level so that we introduce school fees at the basic level so that the government can use that money to, rehabilitate schools, provide dual desk, provide chalks, provide all those things that are needed?
No, as for basic education, I don't think it will be proper to ask anybody to pay anything. That is why we call it basic. In those days, we call it elementary education. Yeah, so for the first maybe 10 years that the child should be in school, from kindergarten up to junior high school, it should be free. And government must be ready to provide the facilities, the teaching, learning materials. Government must do that. So for me, that's why I've been talking about the declining allocation to basic education over the years. This year, I think it was 11%. And then it is not the best. We need something around 15% to meet the UNESCO standard.
15% of what?
Annual budget for education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you give less than 10% or 11% as it is now, that means you are not paying the needed attention to basic education.
Is it a policy thing? When Kufuor was president, he had a special minister for basic education. I think, is that Christine Checha or Professor Dominic Phoebe? One of them was, there was a special ministry for just basic education.
Yeah, Christine Checha was Minister of State in charge of basic education.
Yeah.
I think I can remember that.
Should we have something like that? Should there be a refocus? Now we have a minister for education and then deputies. Should there be a special focus on basic education, you think? Would that be maybe a policy direction thing?
No, we may not need a minister or a deputy minister for basic education. Now we call it a pre-tertiary. Yeah, so there are 2 deputy ministers. One is in charge of pre-tertiary or general education. That is okay. You have the civil servants to work with. So what is important, give them the material that they need to do the work. You can only have a minister with even 1 deputy to work if government is committed, if the funds are made available. It is the funds that will solve the problem. If capitation grant is in arrears for 6 terms, what do you expect the teachers or the heads of the institutions to do?
I'll let us talk about capitation grant, but let's try and just deal with the classroom itself. Supervision. When I was in school, we had a circuit supervisor, Jojo, that's how we called him. He would come almost every 2 or 3 weeks to come and check. I mean, whenever he came, you would see the teachers, running helter-skelter, trying to put their things in order. Do we still have that in the education sector where we have circuit supervisors checking these things? Yeah,
we have them. Now they have even changed the name to CISO or so that, Circuit Improvement Support Officer.
Okay.
Yeah, or instruction, something like that. But the acronym is CISO.
So they are there. Someone who does that?
Yes, they are there. They are to do that. But the issue is that they have even given them motorbikes. They don't fuel the motorbikes for them. So maybe he does 1 or 2 purchases of fuel, maintenance. He cannot do any longer. So he doesn't go regularly.
The situation sounds hopeless.
Yes, very hopeless as it is now. So basic education is suffering because government has concentrated on the middle. That is the
free senior
high school. To the neglect of basic education.
And yet it's a basic education that feeds the...
Yes, so we are having a very poor foundation at the basic level.
Is that reflecting in the BEC results?
It is.
Because that's where we can use to judge, right?
It is. So you can imagine pupils getting about 48 aggregate or aggregate 52, then we are forcing them to secondary school because we have not prepared them adequately for secondary education.
Why do you use the word forcing them? Because the government says no one should be left behind. Your results should not prevent you from going to high school. That's a good thing, right? Everybody gets at least a minimum senior high school education.
Yeah. I think if you look at the Constitution critically, it is stated there that secondary education should be made progressively free. Progressively free because government must put in place the infrastructure, the human resource that we will need, and other things, and funds too, to make sure that you are able to run the system. So it is incumbent on the government to provide such facilities and resources. Yeah, at the basic level, some of us have been of the view that we should even scrap this BEC. Okay. Yeah, we should have community schools. That's what I mean, community secondary schools. So, for instance, if you go to my constituency, like Afiarenyigba, Hevi, Dakpa, yeah, they can have one secondary school. Okay. That the basic schools there will feed.
One secondary school for the community?
Yes. Then you go to another, maybe a cluster of schools. They also get one senior high school. That was the system in Nigeria.
So that when you finish GSS 3, you continue
to the senior high school.
No entrance exam?
No, that is what I prefer.
Why? How is that better?
No, because that will give access to secondary education. Although we are having
what will be the means of checking the quality of the person?
No, if you put a system in place that this is what I want to do, you develop checks and balances. And once you are committed to it, and those who are managing the system are also committed to it, they should be able to do it. And in that case, you can make sure that everybody attends secondary school. As we are here now, for the past 3 years, 192,000 BEC pupils, or as they call them students, have not been able to get access to senior high school because although it is free, it is not entirely free. Some will have to go and hire accommodation for their wards, and then some the walking distance discourages them. Yeah, so if you have community schools scattered all over, and you have it, they will maybe do away with these grade 1 schools and grade 2 schools, which I normally get angry.
So everybody comes on the same level?
Yes.
But then you are not letting the schools be competitive. Right now, because you have grade 1 and grade 2, there's serious competition, and that comes with academic competition, which helps with quality.
Yeah, what we need to do is to provide the resources equally. Do you see it? If you have a Accra Academy, what you have in Accra Academy, the facilities, you should have it in a very senior high school.
Okay.
Do you see it? Okay. If you have a very good science laboratory there, here too, then
even distribution of...
Yes, resources.
I see.
Yeah.
Talk to me about facilities. Capitation grant. What is the role of capitation? What is it supposed to take care of, and how come it's always a problem?
The policy is that basic education should be completely or entirely free. The child should not be made to pay for anything. You just wash yourself, take your breakfast, and go to school. Now, all of that should be borne by the state. So, before the capitation grant, pupils were paying for examination, culture, and then at times maintenance of broken furniture.
Or carry furniture and bring to school.
To school, yes, as we did in those days. So what happened was that, yes, government saw the need to do that, because if you go into the Constitution, it says 10 years after coming into force of the Constitution, basic education must be made free.
2002.
Yeah. So when President Kufuor came to office, that was the 10th year period of the Constitution. So he had to make sure that he introduced the F-cube. Now, it must be followed with funds. So he introduced the capitation grant. And I think during the days of President Kufuor, it went well. When President Mills came, it went well. President Mahama time, it went well. But over the last 3 to 4 years, it's collapsing.
Is it that government doesn't vote the money to them, or what happens?
Parliament approves the money. But currently, it's 10 Ghana cedis per year per pupil in the basic school.
10 cities?
Yes, 10
and,
cities.
And they're supposed to take care of what?
Maintenance.
For the child?
Yes, culture and examination.
Not food?
No. For food...
which one is the 90 pesos one? The one that they give them?
That is the school feeding program.
Okay, that's
yes.
also... So that runs alongside the capitation grant?
Yes, but it's not every school is enrolled on the school feeding program.
Okay. So the capitation grant is a 10 cedis per child per year?
Yes.
Is it inadequate? Or
it's inadequate, but if that goes regularly, I think they can manage it.
So even that is not coming?
Yeah, it's not coming. For 6 terms now.
6 terms?
Yes.
That's how many years?
That is 2 academic years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what has the government said to you?
Oh, we have been raising the issue. They will tell you they are working on it. They have released so and so amount. But when you check on the ground, the money is not getting to the schools. So, as I said, that the concentration is on the free senior high school to the neglect of the basic education. And you go to the schools where the heads have become so desperate that they still fall on parents to at least support the school. Yeah.
This is Face to Face on City TV. My guest is Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe. He is Member of Parliament for Akachi North. He is the ranking on the Education Committee of Parliament. We're just talking about basic education. When we come back, we'll talk about the free senior high school. What is wrong with it? What has to be done? And then we'll talk about university and the scholarships that government has given to people through the scholarship secretariat and all the brouhaha around that. Please stay with us. You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on City TV. My guest is Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe, Member of Parliament, Akachi North, and a member of the Education Committee. Let's talk about free senior high school. It was a big campaign message by President Akufo-Addo, and it's been a big achievement for the Republic of Ghana under his watch. It's something you cannot take away from him. Your side keeps complaining about the free senior high school. Is it a case of skin pain?
Well, I don't think so. If you look at the Constitution of the Republic, it says categorically that we should aim at a free senior high school. And then they put a phrase there, progressively free. Progressively free because the framers of the Constitution knew very well that there will not be enough resources to do it at a go. So we needed to be cautious, then implement it in such a way that everybody would benefit in the ultimate. So we started that in the 2015-2016 academic year. We were doing so on that basis that it was going to be difficult for government at that time to do it as a wholesale. One, we needed the infrastructure. We needed the human resource. So that's why President Mahama introduced the e-blocks, 200 e-blocks, secondary schools all over.
Even though you didn't finish all of them?
No, we started. If we had remained in office, we would have finished them.
By the time you were leaving, you built about
46.
That's small.
It's not small.
That's a failure.
There were so many, about 100 more at various stages of completion.
40 out of 200 is failure.
It's no failure.
Yeah,
it's no failure.
Even 40 out of 100 is failure now out of 200.
By your judgment.
No, by mathematics.
It's not mathematics.
If you are marking your students over 200 and the student gets 46, you call that pass.
No, you see.
It's failure.
No, it is not about 1 plus 1.
No, it's about what you promised and what you delivered.
It is about how you are delivering on your promise.
It's like right now, the government said they'll do 111 hospitals. They haven't done them. Failure.
No,
if they do 70, maybe small. If they do 80, but if they do 30 or 25, failure.
By your calculation, you see, you need resources to do it. And I told you earlier that we had what we call progressively free senior high school.
Yeah.
Do you see it? So we planned it in such a way that by the time, probably within 4 years, we would have been able to provide all those facilities. If we had promised Ghanaians that in 2015, we were going to put up 200 new secondary schools, I think they can hold us responsible for that. But this one, we say progressively. So as we add on the numbers of students, we add on the number of infrastructure as well. But this government promised in their campaign in Avrongo that they were going to build 350 new secondary schools. How many have they delivered? You see the point? Yeah. So you must give credit to President Mahama for even having that vision.
The schools that you went to build in the bush.
You see, you must have that vision that communities grow.
Yeah, but the thing is too far. It's a day school. You send the thing far away.
Let me tell you.
Imagine
I walked 4 kilometers to school every day, and back that is 8 kilometers.
This was 1970.
Yes,
yes.
You see, but when you go to where I went to school, and then the community now, that school is now in the center of town. So you must think of that. You see, development must grow towards a project.
Okay.
Yeah. So you must also look at it that if I put it in the center, community will grow around it. It will not be fine.
Okay.
Put it away, community grows towards it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we started. So in the first year, we were able to deliver 46 secondary schools. And then the cost involved was very high. A complete school, not that only for first year.
And it's a story building.
3-story or 4. You see, with every amenity that you can think of. And we provided a bus for the school so that they can convey students, as you are saying it is in the bush, they can convey students from the communities to the school and have a peaceful environment to learn. You see, so if we had remained in office...
So this was your work towards free SHS. So in your view, SHS should not have become free in 2017 the way it became free under Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
There should have been steps taken to
graduate it. You see, so as we started, why don't you continue in that manner? But they said no, they wanted it wholesale. Yeah,
but they've delivered.
Yes, but you see, you don't know the challenges that went with it.
But it's still better uneducated.
But if NDC had
been,
if NDC had remained in power over the last 3 years, no, even from 2017 to 2020, probably you could have seen a difference. Do you see it? Because our program was cut short. That's why you are thinking that that of the MPP is better. You see it? Now,
but that notwithstanding, the free SHS as we have it now, it's a positive thing.
We are not disputing the fact that free SHS is good. We are not. You see, that is the misunderstanding or the mentality of some people that we are against the free senior high school. It pains us that we didn't introduce it. But we laid the foundation for it. You see it? So we are of the view that it is a good policy, but its implementation. Look, if we had, as a government, had not left money in the consolidated fund or ABFA for this government, they could have introduced the free senior high school. And I can tell you that even funding started day one with the school. When they introduced the program, those in the second year and the third year were paying fees. So the schools relied on those monies that the old students, the Form 2 and Form 3 students were paying. So in those years, you did not hear of any lack of funds because the school authorities were using that. As soon as the continuing students finished, that is the second year and the third year finished, and then government must now fully finance the thing. That's why we started getting the information that, oh, we don't have funds, we don't do this, we don't. That is the situation. You see. So the difference is clear. We laid the foundation.
So if you want to fix free SHS now, what would be the thing you would go for? What should be fixed?
Oh, a lot of things. There was a meeting I attended with Charles recently, and they listed about 15 challenges. I was shocked.
The free SHS?
Yes, 15 challenges. I was shocked. Now, the first is about feeding.
In the boarding schools?
The boarding schools. Parliament approved 10 Ghana cedis per day, per border. Now, government takes away 7 cedis, that is 70%, to provide food items. Then, government is expected to send 3 cedis, that is 30%, to the schools, to the headmasters, to manage for what they call
tomatoes, perishables.
Perishables.
Tomatoes and onions.
Yes. You see it. And that doesn't even get to them regularly. Now, what is also happening is that if you had about maybe 5,000 students, they will send you money for 4,000, and that is the end. How you manage the rate, government doesn't care.
Even though we have the buffer stock company that supplies food
Oh, now even buffer stock is no more providing. Recently, suppliers had to go and picket at the buffer stock company offices in Accra here. So now we have a Ghana Commodities Limited that is supplying the food items. So if in Accra like this, I think Presec is the depot. So they will go and dump the food items there. Then the school authorities will go and collect the items. They don't deliver them as it used to be to the various schools. So when you go, whatever is available, you pick it. You say it. So the feeding is a very big challenge. Some of the headmasters, when we met them, they said, well, if it is rice that is available, you can feed them on rice for the whole day. Maybe in the morning, rice water, as we call it, rice porridge.
Rice cocoa.
Yeah, rice cocoa. Then in the afternoon, it is rice. And maybe in the evening, Josephine or wache. Yes.
So rice every day?
Every day, if that is what is available. If it is maize, that is available.
So we don't have
the various products. Oh,
we don't have a menu where you know that it's on Sunday you eat jollof, on Saturday it's kenke. Those things.
You eat what is available.
That's sad.
Yes, that's sad because, in fact, when they open up to us, we were shocked.
Have they spoken to you about why? Okay, what's happening with those of them who want to speak out? Because this whole issue about PTA,
it is intimidation. You say you make it like You as a journalist, you meet the headmaster, he talks. And the next day he's called and cautioned. If he's not careful, he's transferred from the school, put in a corner somewhere. You see. So they are afraid to talk. Once you talk, you are labeled as against the implementation or the success of the program.
I recently saw a report, an investigative piece by Peter Nortsu, an investigative journalist, where he immersed into some of the secondary schools, and people were sharing a single fish in a saucepan.
Yes.
On a table of 14.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Things look bad. How can you fix it, or how can you rescue it as Parliament? What can you guys do as oversight side of government?
No, we have spoken several times, and I think the ministry or the minister should do something about it, and he's not doing it. Say, when that Joy News empty place or whatever they call, yes, investigation came out. They quickly went to some schools to demonstrate that they have enough food, they do this, they do that. You see, so they are just whitewashing the situation. When we complain, when matters come to us and we voice it, they take this as propaganda. So, but those who are in the field, those who know what is happening, if you have a ward in a school, you must make sure that you send that child provisions regularly. Otherwise, before he comes, he will be suffering from malnutrition.
The government rolled out the 1 tablet per child policy 2 weeks or so ago. They are saying that it's an era of digitalization, and so let our students be ready, especially since they are pushing this whole STEM agenda. Let's prepare our students. It's something you should applaud, right?
Yes, but the manner in which it is being done, it's not going to help the students.
What's the manner that is wrong?
Now, number one, the resources are not available to get it for all the students. Get Fund has used 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to pay for the 450,000 pieces that they launched recently. We are going to give it to some students. I think they selected 33 schools. And how they selected those schools, we asked as a committee. The minister could not explain to us before the launch of the program. I'm sure that's why he didn't invite the committee to the launch of the program, because we asked a number of questions. And when we went on the floor, we raised the same questions. Number one, you have only 450,000. The student population is about 1.3 million. How are you going to get the remaining 900,000 or 850,000? He said it was going to be on pilot basis. How long is it going to be on pilot basis? You see, he couldn't tell us. How much is a cost of a tablet? We asked him. He didn't tell us. But he went on a program on Joy News and said that it was $250 per tablet. How did you get the procurement? He said it was sole sourcing. How? Why did you make it sole sourcing? It was not an emergency issue. It is where you don't have any other competitor that you can make it a sole sourcing. Well, we asked a number of questions. We want to even know the safety of the tablet. Are the students going to take it away on completion of the course, or they will leave it in the school? How sure are we that these students are not going to use the tablet for other purposes or activities? Answers to those questions were not offered. So we are of the view that, yes, I think we are hastening too much. Let's do it. When we get for all the students, then we'll launch it. Because if you say pilot, it can take even 6 months.
But your government did that too.
Yes.
What's different now? If it was okay for you to have distributed
we did not give to secondary school students. We gave to the schools. You say it. We were supplying schools with the tablets. So it will be there. If it's time for ICT, they will take it to the classroom, mount them, then the students will have it. At the end of the lessons, they are packed back to the library or wherever they stored them. That's what we are doing. That's the difference. I hope you understood me now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there are still tablets. And if we can get so many for everybody, why not do that? Why do you have to let them run shift system on tablets? It's
No,
better
you see,
now. Access is
I think
is wide
what
now.
you are not getting right is that we're establishing it in every school. Do you say it? So if assuming there are 100 students in a particular school and you have 40 or 50 for them, that's a laboratory. You go there, have access as part of your lesson. You see, then we're going to make sure that every school had it before we left office. Yeah, this one, they say every student will have it. We don't dispute it. But you see, when you are doing certain programs, you must be transparent. It's the transparency that we are looking at. So imagine a senior high school in my constituency, I have a senior high school, doesn't have access to the tablets for 1 year. And meanwhile, Opokwari Secondary School has it. Are we treating them equally?
There was a proposal by the government to introduce free Wi-Fi in senior high schools. Do you know what the status of that is?
It is not working.
It's not working, or it's not working
for
everywhere?
me, it is even an avenue for corruption.
How?
Very soon we'll come out with some information that will amaze you.
But are the students not having, now that they have Wi-Fi, they are getting tablets? It's easy for
The
them.
tablets are not linked to the Wi-Fi.
But you can link it.
Yes, but for now, no. You see, so we are even asking, are they going to use it offline? You say it. Because the children we have here now are very, very intelligent. You program it this way, but they will go and introduce some applications, and before you realize they are using it for different purposes. Yeah, so we wanted to know. You see, those answers were not given to us. That is our problem.
Let's talk about National Service Scheme. That's also under your committee's watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
There appears to be a back and forth over whether the allowances have been paid or should be paid or will be paid. What information have you picked up?
You know, it took the minority a lot of time even to make sure that the allowances were increased. The last time we increased the allowance was in 2016. And up to last year, we were being given about 530 something, 37 or so cedis. And we said no. Looking at the cost of living, even transportation from home to wherever you are doing your service, 500 Ghana cedis was not enough. So we expected that to even be doubled, looking at the current economic situations in the country. But I think they gave them about 900. Well, they have listened, but not fully. Now, we have approved a budget for it. The challenge is the release of funds from the Ministry of Finance to National Service Secretariat. So if they don't treat the National Service Secretariat as a priority or as an important organization where you have put newly trained graduates or diploma holders who have just come out of college or university and need to serve the nation, I think they should be the first to receive an allowances.
So it appears NSS is a burden. That's why Dr. Baumia says under his watch, or if he became president, NSS will not be compulsory. Is that not a way out?
No, I disagree with him. He has even forgotten that there is a law on national service that when you complete a tertiary institution, you should compulsorily do at least 1 year national service.
Yes, so he can come to Parliament and have that law amended.
What surprises me about him is that he doesn't even know that as we sit here, they have concluded a new legislation on national service, trying to transform it from National Service Secretariat or scheme to National Service Authority. I have sat on
There's something like that coming.
Yes. Even this morning, I was with the executive director. In fact, he gave it to me. I worked on it with him, and then cabinet has approved it. He went to Attorney General. It has come. He showed me everything. They will be laying it very soon
to make it more powerful.
More powerful
than what it is now.
Yes. But very comprehensive. But I don't know why he, as a vice president, is not aware of that.
Maybe he's aware, but that's Akufo-Addo's plan. He says if he comes, he's not going to do that.
And so what you will see that all that he's doing is at variance to his government.
But he has a right to chart a different path.
He has a right, but that means, is he coming to push away?
No, he will say that it's not compulsory. When you finish university, you can go and work if you don't want to do service.
Well, I don't think it will be useful for him now to do that. In the first place, there will be no stopgap. Look, this National Service Scheme, as we have it now, I think it's holding unemployment in check.
They'll bring NAPCO. They have NAPCO.
NAPCO, which they have collapsed just as other schemes that they couldn't pay them.
Let me take a break. This is Face to Face on City TV. Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe is my guest. When we come back, we'll talk about the so-called scholarship bonanza, which is what has sparked a lot of controversy here in the Republic of Ghana. Please stay. You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on City TV. Honorable, the Fourth Estate, a media house, did an investigation where they did an RTI and asked the Scholarship Secretariat to give them the list of people who benefited from the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. They've published it and it's become a controversial issue. What is wrong with giving scholarships to Ghanaians or Ghanaian students by a Ghanaian company or a Ghanaian government agency?
Well, let's begin with the purpose for the institution of scholarship awards. You know, at the time of independence, we needed large number of human resource, engineers, doctors, teachers. Well, when I say teachers, those are the university. Yeah, and a whole lot of people who could help the nation grow. So President Nkrumah at the time realized that no, government had to intervene and made funds available so that Ghanaians could travel outside the country to do programs that were not available in the country. So that was the reason. Now, so that was in 1960, and up to today we have the scholarship schemes. We had different forms of scholarship or different organizations awarding scholarship.
Government of Ghana scholarship.
Yes. The Get Fund is awarding. Scholarship Secretariat is doing so. Even until recently, before the introduction of the Free Senior High School, the same Scholarship Secretariat was doing it, and even the Cocoa Board was also awarding scholarships. Now, it is important that Ghanaians are supported, but the mission or the purpose was needy but brilliant students as time went on. Now, we have so many faculties in Ghana, for instance, doing law. So is it necessary that the government should sponsor somebody to go to US and UK to do a first degree in law? That is not proper. You see, now, even master's degree, we still have it, maybe law or English or literature or any other subject, we have them. But where we don't have the faculty in Ghana, and that person who is going there is going to be of very great immense or very crucial for either a sector, health, or education. That person should be supported to go and do that course and then return to Ghana to provide that service. So you know the kinds of professionals we need, and you should tailor scholarships towards those professions. Now, until recently, we had information as a committee that no, there was something happening at the Scholarship Secretariat. We needed to do something about it. We invited the Secretariat, but they didn't turn out. Our information letter was that they were not responsible to us because it was not under the Ministry of Education. It was directly under the office of the President. So they were accountable to the President.
Okay.
Because we heard that they were taking money from applicants before granting them the awards. Once they were not able to open up to us, and we as a committee did not approve their budget. It was a special budget unit or committee. We felt that, well, one day all these things will come out. And I'm happy that it has come out. Now, it is not wrong for any Ghanaian to be given a scholarship award. But look at the category of persons that have benefited. That is where we are raising eyebrows. Assuming Mr. A is a medical practitioner. He has a very good private hospital. Doesn't need state sponsorship to go and do business administration, which has nothing to do with the medical field which he occupies. So there's a total abuse of the system.
So he has financial capacity. He should not be the target.
He should not be considered for that award. So if you look at some of the reports, look at Honorable Freddie Blay, his daughter, benefiting to go and do studies abroad. He can pay for his daughter's education.
He's a retired old man.
No. If he could promise or buy 275 minibuses for constituencies in the country during his election, why can't he pay about 10,000 or 15,000 pounds for his daughter to go and do law? You see it. Now, his wife even is a diplomat since 2017, Ghana's ambassador to Germany. And he has facilities over there. The daughter could have even gone to stay with her and do the program over there. Then you give scholarship for somebody to go and do internship. You see, law students, when they graduate, they are called to the bar. They are doing their internship in Ghana. Why should you award somebody scholarship to go to US to go and do internship? What type of internship is the person going to do? So the total abuse of the system.
But are we not trying to get our people to also go abroad and go and learn? I mean, even if the faculties are here, the exposure out there, the experience out there is something that people will benefit and come and use for our development.
You have the opportunity to do your program. Somebody hasn't got that opportunity. Why don't you help the person? There are people who are really in need in this country. We have been interacting with our constituents. They gain admission to tertiary institutions. The money to pay for the fee for the first year is a big problem, let alone talk about accommodation. So if the opportunity is there, then let's help Ghanaians rather. Why don't we use that money locally? £15,000 could have paid for fees of about over 100 students at level 100 in the University of Ghana. You see, so this is the abuse of the system. People who don't need it are being given to the detriment or disadvantage of those who really needed the scholarship.
The Secretariat has existed since Nkrumah's days, like you said, and the politicians, they control these offices, and often they put their people there. Your people were also guilty of this, doing a similar thing, sending your own people. Even the allegations that some of your deputy ministers at the time were flying to the UK every weekend to go and study.
That was an allegation.
You don't have clean hands to come and
you see, this level of equalization is what is not helping us in Ghana. Kofi did it. So if Yahweh is doing it, there's no problem about it. At a point in time, we should call a spade a spade. So you in the media should rather help us. That let us stop this. So we, as a minority, we have seen that no, we must say something so that the best thing is done. If you accuse the NDC of doing it, you don't have any evidence to show.
Do you want the whole scholarship scheme collapsed, or you want it streamlined? What was your solution?
Me, I want the scholarship regime to be streamlined. GetFund is awarding scholarships. The Scholarship Secretariat. We should have one authority.
I think there's GMPC, there's COCO.
Yeah, yes. So if you have a scholarship authority, you realize that all other companies or agencies will subscribe to that authority. If GMPC is going to use maybe 1% of their turnover to sponsor education, then they should give it to the authority that will be manning or managing the scholarship on behalf of government. GetFund, maybe your percentage goes to
but that will not prevent politicians and their children from benefiting?
Yes, it will not, but to a very large extent, I believe that there will be fairness in that.
You are hopeful that there will be fairness?
Yes, but once it is under the office of the president, as we have it now, it will
so
be
take it away from the office of president?
Yes.
You're also saying that
an authority.
You're also saying that there should be interdiction and investigation and prosecution?
Yes, we are calling for interdiction.
Of the head of the Secretariat?
Yes. That is the registrar.
Kingsley?
Yes, Kingsley
Ajiman. So it should go away?
Yeah, it should go away.
So
then the place will be free for the investigation to take place. Because if he is there, he will interfere with the forensic audit.
Very well.
Yeah.
We need to end it here. Thank you so much for joining us on Face to Face.
Yeah, thank you for honoring me with your invitation and presence.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Peter Nortsu Kotoe is Member of Parliament for Akachi North in the Volta region and ranking member or Shadow Cabinet Secretary on Education. This has been Face to Face on City TV. My name is Umaru Sandamado. Thank you for watching. Keep watching City TV. It's your world.